This is module 4, and it's practicing listening skills, and it's titled "The Value of Active Listening." The speech I watched is General Douglas MacArthur's Sylvanus Thayer Award acceptance address. When this speech was given on May 12, 1962, General MacArthur was 82 years old. The speech was about 34 minutes long, and it was actually presented without notes. He started by using humor to draw his audience in from the first contact with a total of about 2,100 or more cadets that were present. He expresses his gratitude at being honored for the award, but doesn't stop there, because he makes the acceptance speech not just about himself, but about duty, honor, and courage of the men before him. He at many intervals uses these three words over and over again, almost like a repetition, and gives one the idea that what is being that is what being a soldier is all about. This is obviously a code that he lived by, also. MacArthur was an American general, and he was also a marshal in the Philippine Army. He, the decorated general, used his speech to address and praise the men for all they do, and he wanted them to be appreciated for all that they do to serve their country. His speech was moving, inspirational, and persuasive. General MacArthur uses a lot of imagery to communicate to his audience, and his choice of words paint pictures in our minds, such as using the words "the crash of guns," "the rattle of musketry." At times his tone is mournful and even and it maintains the same level throughout the speech. So it's not like there's no rise and fall in his speech. It's almost like a one liner. And so his words wake up sensibility to service, and makes us patriotic and involved. He does not lose his audience, because he's talking from a place of one that has actually been there. He speaks from experience, and when he recounts his multiple experiences, he seems to be saying, "I know where you're heading and what you're doing and what you haven't done yet, because I've done all these things." General MacArthur's speech communicates emotion, and when he talks about his personal experiences, we're touched and moved, and we get easily distracted with the imageries presented. His repetitions of the words were distraction for me personally. I guess maybe because I really did not know so much about what he was talking about. But it was a call to arm, and a roll call for the continuation of war and of winning as the ultimate goal. The speech constantly brought sounds of battle, such as when he says, "On many a weary march, from dripping dusk to drizzling dawn, I could see those staggering columns of the First World War, the crash of guns, the mournful murder of the battlefield." For me, it brings fear into my mind and paints the imagery that war is not for the faint of heart, and that one should have no distraction when one is at war. He talks about his own death, and he says, "When I crossed the river," and that also paints a picture of doom and almost something final. And at the same time, you get a sense of appreciation for all that is achieved, because he's obviously someone who has achieved so much. He talks about his end, but wants them to know that where his life is ending, their life is starting, and it's just a beginning. And he's done with his days, and their days are just starting. It uses a lot of biblical allusions and connects to a higher power when he says, "You're the living which bind." It discloses those divine attributes which his maker gave when he created man in his own image. And in order to understand this speech, I used multiple listening techniques, but I really was challenged and by trying to figure out what the intent was. I also think because it was more auditory than visual for me, it affected my listening ability because I guess I have a better understanding when I can actually see the person who's talking. Not that I'm not an auditory learner, but I was a little challenged because I guess I was expecting to see the actual person giving the speech. While listening to his speech, I was also distracted by a lot of rumbling in the background, and the rumbling was almost like a distraction. I'm not sure if that really had anything to do with the quality of the audio, but it was distracting. There was a lot of imagery. It was like, when you have pop-ups on your computer, and pop-ups are always like a distraction. So the imagery of war, of the booming sounds of gun powder, or war, or sounds of war, was distracting. The only task that comes to mind that I guess I could do that doesn't affect my ability to listen would be probably eating. I practiced this actually at work through numerous lunch and learn meetings at work, and you 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 actually eat while you're listening to some kind of meeting or the other. Thank you.